Welcome to 𝐂𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄𝐔, talk about investing, finance, and professional development. As the current time of 3:11 p.m. on Eastern Time on August 30th on Tuesday. Hope you guys have a great week so far. ETHEREUM $1,546, about 0.43% so far. On the crypto market and the equity market, I would say across the spectrum, we are relatively red. Not a significant amount of red, but still leaning more towards the bearish side of the spectrum. And on the media front, I would say collectively, there are a couple of catalysts that we should be mindful of. One is obviously, with respect to the job opening number that came out today, or the JOLTS for July 2022. On a high-level synopsis on the key metrics we need to look out for, it seems like available job positions in July total to be 11.24 millions for the month, which is well exceeded in excess of the 10.3 million estimates that Facet has proposed early on. But again, this is July number, right? And the total was also nearly double the total pool of available workers, which stood at 5.67 million for the month. So again, historical number, it seems like we missed the mark quite significantly. Seems like the job issue is still kind of cultivating. So that's one piece of the puzzle that we have learned so far. In addition to that, there's also another catalyst coming from the Feds. It seems like a representative from the Feds, Williams, has pushed back on the market expectations of a rate cut next year. So not sure what that means specifically. It seems like based on the verbiage that he talks about, it's still quite diplomatic based on the high level read. We still have to kind of triangulate with the job numbers. We have to see how the inflationary pressure will be playing out going forward. And he foresees that, knowing the fact that we are kind of shifting onto Q3, Q4, nearly the end of the year. I know it's crazy that I'm saying this right now, that the timing to kind of turn around and not continue to raise the height, the rate height, by next year, like in Q1, might be a little bit too premature to say. So it's possible that we might continue to do so until like later in Q1, all the way to Q2. So obviously with that verbiage, despite more of a hypothetical scenario without anything confirmatory, it still doesn't give people a good taste in their mouth, right? And then one more on the news front. It seems like the Congress, knowing the fact that in the recent time frame in the last couple of months, we've been experiencing a lot of hacks and fraudulent activities with respect to Coinbase, FTX, Binance, and other obviously crypto platform. It seems like Congress is try to get inquiry from these firms onto cracking down the $1 billion crypto fraud that happened recently. So whenever you hear news around regulatory dynamics, restrictions, things like that, it doesn't drive a lot of positivity into the market. So we've been kind of quite, I guess, suppressed collectively so far, and also on the on the stock front, is kind of reflecting the sentiments psychologically across the spectrum. Despite the VIX is kind of low today, it's only up about 0.53% in comparisons to days ago when we were approximating the Jackson Hole speech. We were surging up high, right, 13% at one point. And also the oil price is also kind of dipping a little bit. So it's a kind of a mixed kind of a stir day, right, driving this kind of a consolidated sideways fashion type of activities that we're seeing. And you probably noticed I'm wearing my US Open hat. By the way, I still haven't taken off my tags or my stickers yet. I'm just wearing this. I don't know. I got it and I felt like wearing it. So hopefully I don't look too much like a kid. But I don't plan on really wearing this hat. I plan on more just collecting this, knowing the fact that this is Serena's last game. And I actually had the great fortune to work across path with Serena back in the day when I worked at SurveyMonkey. And Serena's on the board of the company, so I've seen her actually several times at the office back in the day. So it's good to see her outside of the professional setting. And now shifting onto tennis, and it's like actually my first time to watch her play, which is quite eye-opening. But also to see the evolutions of her progressing onto becoming a venture capitalist like myself going forward, it's definitely quite interesting to see. Okay, so let me just dive right into technical. I know you guys don't like me talking too much about nonsense. So with respect to recording time, again, of 3:17 p.m. on the Eastern time, we are at 15:50 right now. You could see that we have tried to keep going up. We tried to get up to 1600 today, but you could see that we gave up and we come back down to a natural level. And right now we are relatively subsequent consolidated level at 1550. The next level down is 1450, and if we crack that, and we hear more negativity ahead, we might even head down to like the 1250 again, right? And again, with respect to daily, you are quite, still stagnant, but like leaning more toward the bullish side of the stagnant spectrum. On the weekly, you could see that we are still looking for some normalization, some sell-off ahead, weeks out basically. But as you get over the hump on a monthly perspective, we are quite bullish. So ideally seeing some normalization, some correction, as we shift onto September, as we shift onto like deep October, before we obviously rotate back onto Q4, the Santa Claus rally is very possible. So the dips might be incoming, right? So something to look out for. With respect to Bitcoin, we are still bullish on the monthly, which means Q4 should ideally be a good quarter. But on the weeks out, we are still quite stale, and then also on the daily right now, you could see that we're quite, it's not terrible, but you could see that the inertia on the RSI is not doing the best. I think ideally seeing some glide back down to 30 out of 70, as we are heading down to the level of 18 or 19,000, all the way down to 18,000 would be very logical based on the current setup right now. And the reason we sold off is because the technical has been telling us that this is the upward wedge, and we broke the upward wedge, so that's why we're kind of gliding down right now, right? And across all the other altcoin side of the house, I would say they're all trading quite comparably to Ethereum, which makes sense, right? As they're following through. Seems like Luna is pumping right now, up 16.5%. I don't know what's happening, but I don't suggest doing so, knowing the fact, a lot of people lost a lot of money because of the lack thereof in terms of the fundamental infrastructure, right? So hopefully this is helpful. Appreciate you. Have a good rest of the day, and I'll check you on the next one. Take care.